on Go Country 105. I'm hearing police, or if not police, ambulance or fire department sirens somewhere. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, the first 15 seconds of death have gone by. Isn't that great? I'm sure it's not me. I'm sure it's not me. Wow, lots of sirens today. Lots of sirens today. For once, it's not me. As the peskiest, most conniving son of a gun there, at least, is it me? Maybe it's not me this time. Anyway, we're back here with Frozen and this one. I do really want to get to this one, but there were so many names popping up here that I needed to get through. And we got to the next Who's Who from Whoville, Dr. Zeus. No, I'm just kidding. Really cool thing. If you guys have not seen this new show at Segerstrom Center for the Arts, where I did a nice YouTube video with that drone. I just shot some nice footage of there. You're not allowed to, but I did it because I wasn't actually causing any problems. And I'm pretty sure that in the past you could do that, but apparently you can't anymore. So don't do it. I have the shots that you want to see on the channel. If anybody wants to donate a couple of dollars, I do not have a donor box link, but I did bring a box. So just reach through the screen and throw a couple of dollars in here. Again, everybody can donate. If you're a liberal, you can donate $1 for the divorce fund. If you are a hot-blooded conservative, you can drop a couple of dollars or $1, whatever, even cents. I'll take cents. For the Be Your Own Man fund, and then there's the Haters Fund for the Point and Laugh Fund. Feel free, and then there's the whatever in between fund. Anyway, I forgot my little script, so I can't remember all the different funds, but those are the ones that I can remember today. And of course, the most important one of them all is the Haters Fund. But anyway, let's jump into Frozen. Disney. Don't go out and say that I don't bring the Disney to you guys. Anyway, this is a really good performance. They had some fun jokes and some. Actually, I prefer this better than the movie that they made. It was just more entertaining, in my opinion. Again, guys, I know that my opinion is very unpopular, but I'm here to give it to you anyway. So there we go. I think the last person that we talked about was Brian Stephen Shaw. And so now we're going to get on to Caleb Summers. Caleb Summers, ensemble native to Texas. Caleb trained and performed with the Texas, goodness gracious. Lone Star Ballet has performed in regional theaters across America and toured nationally while also performing internationally on luxury cruises. Let's build a snowman, he says. I'm pretty sure I read this before. But someone else said, let's build a snowman, or that was... I'm done, guys. I am so done. It's where the Alzheimer's starts kicking in. Anyway, Daniel Switzer, Ensemble Broadway and Nat, Tour, Mean Girls, Wicked, Newsies, Race and Davy, Cats, Mungo, Newsies Live on Disney Plus, graduate of Rockford University. Daniel loves warm hugs and his family. I'm pretty sure I read this because I remember the Daniel Switzer. So where the heck did I get to? Did we do Jennifer Lee? I feel like we may have done Jennifer Lee too. The Academy Award-winning writer of Walt Disney Animation Studios, Frozen, and the one animated film all time, Frozen 2, both of which she directed with Chris Buck. For her work on Frozen, Lee received numerous awards, including a Golden Globe and Critics' Choice Award, a BAFTA Award, and the Academy Award. Lee is Disney Animation's chief creative officer, overseeing all feature-length, short-form, and streaming content created at the studio, including the films Encanto, Raya, and The Last Dragon, and the 2023 feature Wish, for which she is also one of the writers. Her Disney animation career began as a co-writer of the Oscar-nominated Wreck-It Ralph, which I kind of enjoyed as a movie too. Let's see. So did I don't know. Maybe we'll just go backwards to Robert Lopez. I can't understand how I fudged this up. But anyway, Robert Lopez, music and lyrics, co-writer of Frozen, co-creator, writer of Book of Mormon, 9 Tony Awards, co-creator, songwriter of Avenue Q, 3 Tony Awards. How many Belinda Awards? We don't know yet. But I'm probably going to give a lot. I'm going to give a lot of those out soon. Songwriter of Avenue, as we said, Frozen Denver Center up here, LA Hoya Playhouse, 1001 Nights, Atlantic Theater, film Frozen 2, Pixar's Coco, Oscar nomination, Best Original Song, Remember Me, Frozen Oscar and Grammy Award wins, Let It Go. Songs for the 87th Academy Awards, The Simpsons, South Park, Scrubs, The Wonder Pets, one of only 15 artists to win Emmy, Grammar, Oscar, and Tony Awards, EGOT. Yale University grad, BMI, Workshop, Dramatists Guild Council. He lives in Brooklyn with wife and collaborator Kristen Anderson Lopez and their 2 daughters. Awesome. I'm going to go back one more just in case I know I remembered Pellywood's. Did we talk about Kristen Anderson Lopez, though? Music and lyrics, co-writer of Frozen, co-creator, writer in the Transit Broadway first a cappella musical regional Frozen Denver Center. Up here, the Hoya Playhouse. I think I've read this bit. Finding Nemo, the musical Disney World, running since 2006. Film Frozen 2, Pixar Coco, Oscar win, Best Original Song, Remember Me. I love that song. Frozen Oscar and Grammy Awards wins, Let It Go. Winnie the Pooh. Awesome. Winnie the Pooh's in here too. TV songs for the 87th Academy Awards Emmy nomination. The Comedians Emmy nomination. The Wonder Pets. I think I went to watch Wonder Pets. I was invited to one of those screenings, free screenings, to see. They still had some of the end of the movie hadn't been done. There were animatics being done and shown. 2014 recipient and proud board member of Lilly Awards, William College grad, BMI Workshop, Dramatists Guild Council. She lives in Brooklyn with husband Robert Lopez and their 2 daughters. Okay, anyway. Jumping forward to Michael Grandage, director, is the recipient of Tony Oliver Drama Desk Evening Standard British. Is the car still running right now? No, it's not. Okay. I'm going to have some problems with the battery if I don't mess things up. It could be bad. It could be a bad day. It could be bad. It could be a really bad day. Let's not make it happen. So, British Critics Circle and South Bank Awards. His Olivier Award-winning musicals include Merrily We Roll Along, Grand Hotel, Guys and Dolls. Grandage received a Tony Award for Best Direction for Red and Tony nominations for Frost, Nixon, and The Cripple of Inishmen. Grandage served as artistic director of London Donmar Warehouse for 10 acclaimed seasons before establishing the Michael Grandage Company, MGC, in 2012, As artist director of MGC, he directed Photograph 51 Henry V, The Cripple of Inishman, Peter and Alice, and the future film genius www.michaelgrandagecompany.com. And on Instagram, if you want to find him, it's Michael Grandage. That's it. So it's the @ Michael Grandage. Rob Ashford, let's see who Rob Ashford is. Choreographer is a Tony Olivier, Emmy Drama Desk, and Outer Critics Circle Award-winning director, choreographer, New York City, Macbeth, Park Avenue Armory, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, which I loved, that very old movie. Evita, Tony nomination. How to Succeed, Tony nomination, direction, choreography. Promises, Tony nom. Crybaby, drama desk, Outer Critics Circle, Astaire Award, Tony nomination. I guess that's from Fred Astaire. Curtains, Tony nom. The Wedding Singer, Tony nomination. Thoroughly Modern, Millie, Tony Award, Best Choreography, London, Kenneth Branagh, or Branagh, I don't know, how do you say that? Theater Company, The Winter's Tale, Olivier Nom, direction, Romeo and Juliet, The Entertainer, Donmar, Anna Christie. A Streetcar Named Desire, another awesome movie that I watched a while back. Parade, Olivier Nom's direction, choreography, television. The Sound of Music, live, good one. Peter Pan, live, and so on. DGA nomination. Then we have Christopher Oram. Scenic and costume design, is the recipient of Tony Olivier Drama Desk Evening, Standard Critics Circle, Garland, and Ovation Awards. His work on Broadway includes Hughie Booth, Wolf Hall, Parts 1 and 2, Winter Garden, The Cripple of Inishman Court, Evita, Marquis, Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, Richard Rogers. Additional work includes Red Golden, Hamlet with Jude Law, Broadhurst, Frost, Nixon, Jacobs, Macbeth, Park Avenue Armory, King Lear, BAM, and Billy Budd, BAM, as in BAM. And if you want to check out his Instagram, so BAM Instagram, no, I'm just kidding, at Christopher Oram. Then we have Natasha Katz. Lighting design, has designed extensively for theater, opera, dance concerts, and permanent lighting installations around the world. She is a 6-time Tony Award winner whose recent Broadway credits include Springsteen on Broadway, the recent revival of Hello Dolly, Cat's Long, Day's Journey into Night, School of Rock, An American in Paris, Aladdin's Skylight, The Glass Menagerie, Once the Coast of Utopia, Salvage, Ada, and Beauty and the Beast. She does not have an Instagram. Good for her. Peter Hilensky, sound design, Grammy, Olivier, 7-time Tony nominated. Selected designs includes Anastasia, Something Rotten, Rock of Ages, After Midnight, Motown, The Scottsboro Boys, Sideshow, Rocky, Bullets of Broadway, Shrek, On a Clear Day, Lend Me a Tenor, Elf, Wonderland, Crybaby, The Times They Are A-Changing, The Wedding Singer, Sweet Charity, Martin Short, Fame Becomes Me, Little Women, Brooklyn. Other credits: Le Rêve at Wynn, Las Vegas, Ragtime, London, Rocky, Das Musical, King Kong. Then we have Finn Ross. Video design, has won 2 Olivier Awards, a Tony 3 Drama Desk, and OCC Awards. Recent work: Les Miserables, West End, Mean Girls, Broadway, Frozen, Broadway and Tour, Bat Out of Hell, West End, Tempest RSC, Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, Broadway, West End, American Psycho, Broadway, Alameda, Betrayal, Broadway, The Rise of Fall of Mahogany, Royal Opera House, Chimererica, I can't pronounce that one, Chimerica, maybe? Alameda, West End, Death of Klinghoffer, Damnation of Faust, not Fauci, Damnation of Faust, Magic Flute, ENO, Master and Margarita, Complicité, A Dog's Heart, DNO. Then we have Michael Curry, puppet design. Michael's approach is unique as he chooses to design and fabricate with a long-term team in his Oregon studio. The scenic designs, puppetry, and gosh, I've ruined this thing. And performance effects from Michael Curry design have been the cornerstone of shows for the past 30 years. Michael is best known for his work The Lion King on Broadway, multiple Olympic opening ceremonies, Met Opera, Cirque du Soleil, and other worldwide spectacles. Wow, we've read a lot again today. How many more who's do we have? Okay, 2 more pages. And probably more going forward. And we probably will read, but not today, all of the donors. The donors for this, not this, of course. David Brian Brown, hair design, Broadway highlights, Moulin Rouge, Come From Away, Canada, London, Australia, Dear Evan Hansen, War Paint, Drama Desk Award, She Loves Me. She Loves Me Not. She used to love me a lot. It was Susan. Susan W. used to love me a lot. Platonically, let's not get her in trouble. Drama Desk nomination, Curious Incident, Gigi, The Bridges of Madison County, Macbeth, Death of a Salesman, Follies, Sister Act. Sister Act was a good one. A Steady Rain. Was it with Whoopi Goldberg? Whoopi Goldberg, one of my favorites out there. We have Shrek, The Little Mermaid, Legally Blonde, Spamalot, Tarzan 9, Gypsy, Sweet Smell of Success, Ada, The Iceman Cometh, Chicago, Sideshow, Steel Pier, Film, Angels in America, Emmy nominated To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. We've got Ann Ford, Coats, Makeup design, Broadway hair and makeup design for Oklahoma. The Nap, makeup design for A Bronx Tale. On Your Feet, Disaster. On the 20th Century, It Should Have Been You. Hundreds of designs for opera companies internationally, including 10 seasons with Washington National Opera and Glimmerglass Festival. Recent favorites include Wagner's Ring Cycle, Kennedy Center, The Wolves, Lincoln Center, The Music Man, Royal Opera, House Musket Omen. I don't know. How do the presenters do it without burping? They're amazing, aren't they? You got to get all your burps out before you get on stage. But in live streams, it's hard to get away with it. Anyway, Jeremy Cernick, or Chernick. Hope I said at least one of those correctly. Special effects design, has worked on over 50 productions on Broadway, including Disney, Aladdin. Recent credits include West Side Story, King Lear, Beetlejuice, Oklahoma, and Hadestown. In London's West End, Jeremy designed Harry Potter and the Cursed Child and Let the Right One In. Jeremy's work on spectacles spans the globe, as well as among prominent performing and visual arts institutions like the Museum of Art and Design in New York. In 2018, Jeremy was an Emmy Award honoree for his work on NBC's Jesus Christ Superstar Live. Jeremy serves as head designer for J&M Special Effects in Brooklyn. www.jmfx.net. Then we've got Stephen Oramus, music supervisor in arrangements, Broadway, Kinky Boots, 2013, Tony Award for Best Orchestrations and 2013 Grammy Award. The Book of Mormon, 2011, Tony and Drama Desk Awards for Best Orchestrations and 2012 Grammy Award. Music supervisor, arranger, and orchestrator of Broadway productions of Wicked, Avenue Q, All Shook Up, and 9 to 5. Other music director of 87th Academy Awards, The Wiz Live. On NBC, Rent Live on Fox, conductor, contributing. Arranger for the films Frozen and Frozen 2. Then we've got Dave Metzger, orchestrations, was nominated for Tony and Drama Desk Awards for orchestrating the Broadway version of The Lion King, perhaps best known for his work in film. He has arranged and orchestrated over 70 movies, including Frozen 1 and 2, Moana, Tarzan, The Avengers, How to Train Your Dragon 1 and 2, The Lion King 2019, Wreck-It Ralph 1 and 2. Oh, I didn't know they had the 2. I probably should go and check that one out. DaveMetzgermusic.com. So that is DaveMetzgermusic.com. Then we've got Michael Keller and Michael Aarons, music coordinators, Broadway, Be More Chill, Pretty Woman, Frozen, Dear Evan Hansen, Hamilton, upcoming Broadway, Moulin Rouge, Jagged Little Pill, Magic Mike Tours, Hamilton, Chicago National Tours, Anastasia, Dear Evan Hansen. We've got a few more, but you see, just by reading through this, you might get some pretty good ideas of what you might want to watch, whether it's the movie or the musical itself. So just throwing out some stuff. Some of it might be on Netflix even. You never know. Just search. David Chase, additional dance arranger, 34 Broadway productions as dancer, arranger, music director, and or music supervisor. Recent dance music for Carousel, Frozen, Anastasia, and Hello Dolly. Also London's West End Lyric Opera of Chicago. Many vocal and instrumental arrangements for the Boston Pops, including the 12 Days of Christmas, the Kennedy Center Honors, Radio City Musical Hall, Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, choral works published by Schrimmer, 2 Emmy nominations for music direction for NBC Live musicals plus Grammy nomination. Sounds like fun. We've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 to go. But you can't put them in a box. You can't put it in a Chinese to-go box or fly a Chinese to-go box anymore because they'll shoot it down. Oh, the movie Up. You can't do Up anymore. If your dream was to come to America and have a balloon house and live in the sky, you can't do it anymore. That's instant karma for you right there. As I choke on my spit. Anyway, welcome to the new America, right? The new America, where you can't, even if you wanted to, build your house in the sky. Like, what was that Castle in the Sky cartoon? You can't do that anymore in America. They will shoot it down. That will shoot that stuff down faster than you can possibly imagine. Anyway, so Faith, C2, music director. Frozen is Faith's 4th Disney production, and she's thrilled to be with this wonderful company. National Tours, Aladdin, Newsies, The Lion King, The Phantom of the Opera, Miss Saigon, Mamma Mia, A Christmas Story, A Chorus Line, Sunset Boulevard, Petula Clark, Titanic, Bombay Dreams, regional highlights, Into the Woods, Oklahoma, Once on This Island, Guys and Dolls, On the Town, For Kircha, Who Knew It All Along, Love to Piggy, My Family and My Friends. I wonder if that's the Piggy from that famous Piggy and Bird. Wait, is it Piggy and the Snake? I can't remember. Anyway, there was this fun series of books with Piggy in it. And there were like 2 or 3 friends playing ball or throwing stuff. And then there was a little snake, and he couldn't play ball with them because he didn't have any hands. So in the end, they ended up playing Piggy in the middle with a snake. They threw the snake to make him participate. Anyway, fun stuff. I'm sure that's not what this is about. Anyway, Christoph Buskies, We've got, did I just read that a second ago? Maybe I didn't. I lost my place in the world, in time, in space. Maybe I didn't read this. Did I read this? I swear I must have read. No, I didn't. Christoph Buskies, Key Comp Programming. Christoph's revolutionary music system, Key Comp, has been successfully implemented worldwide in The Lion King, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, The Little Mermaid, Sister Act, and Frozen. Key Comp generates the best live sound in modern musicals. More information available through www.keycomp.com. Adrian Sarpel, Associate Director, Les Miserables Japan, London, Brazil, Broadway 25th Anniversary Concert, Mary Poppins, Stuttgart, 1st and 2nd UK Tours, Vienna, Australia, London, The Railway Children, Stephen Ward, Betty Blue Eyes, Phantom, 25th Anniversary Production, UK film, Les Miserables Ensemble, 2nd Assistant Director. We have Sarah O. Gleby, Associate Choreographer. Credits include Annie Get Your Gun, Bay Street, High Button Shoes, Encore City Center, Kennedy Center Honors CBS, Mythic, directed and choreographed London, The Wanderer, upcoming Paper Mill Playhouse, Frozen Broadway and Tour Associate, Chick Flick and Musical. Off-Broadway, Sarah is choreographer for The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon and Saturday Night Live NBC. Charlie Williams, Associate Choreographer, Broadway, Memphis, How to Succeed, Miss Saigon, and The Cher Show. Also, the Academy Awards, Tony Awards, Emmy Awards, Kennedy Center Honors, TED 2, the one with the bear, I think. Million Ways to Die, New York Fashion Week, which you will be able to find here at www.iamcharliewilliams.com or at I am Charlie Williams, I guess, on Instagram. You could check the Facebook. I just don't know. It doesn't really say like on some of these it says IG, which I guess is Instagram. On some of them it says FB, which means Facebook, I would imagine. But you can never tell when it doesn't say anything at all. So it's up to you, New York, as they will say to you. The Telsey office, casting with offices in both New York and Los Angeles. The Telsey office casts for theater, film, television, and commercials. The Telsey office is dedicated to creating safe, equitable, and anti-racist spaces through collaboration, artistry, heart, accountability, and advocacy. Aurora Productions, production management, Beetlejuice Korea, Book of Mormon Company, Frozen, Australia, Germany, London, Japan, North America Tour, Mean Girls Tour, Plaza Suite, Springsteen on Broadway, The Lehman Trilogy, The Music Man, To Kill a Mockingbird. Aurora has been providing technical supervision and production management to the entertainment industry since 1989. Okay, anyway, so we've got last three people that we're going to talk about is Clifford Schwartz, senior production supervisor, has been part of Disney theatrical family since 1999. Disney credits include the Broadway and multiple international productions of Frozen, Aladdin, The Hunchback of Notre Dame, Elton John and Tim Rice's Ada, Tarzan, The Little Mermaid, and Peter and the Starcatcher. Additional Broadway credits include Grease 1994, Chicago 1996, Big the Musical Guys and Dolls 1992, Lend Me a Tenor 1990, Assassins 1991, and Moose Murders 1983. That's my year right there. The year of the cancer that destroyed humanity. Snappity snap, crabby crab. Anyway, we've got Lisa Dawn Cave, production supervisor, Broadway, Frozen, Shuffle Along, Fun Home, Rocky Broadway, Cat on Hot Tin Roof, Bring It On, West Side Story, Come Fly Away, The Color Purple, The Kane Mutiny, Court Martial, The Woman in White, Julius Caesar, Caroline or Change, Hollywood Arms, Into the Woods, Parade, Smokey Joe Cafe, Showboat, Namaste, as they say in India, or what is that, in yoga. Paige Grant, production stage manager, national tours, Hadestown, first national tour, The Book of Mormon, Jumamosi Company. Oh my gosh. You could have picked a slightly easier name, but you didn't. You didn't. So here we are. So we're gonna read the next who's who in the next live stream, I guess, and then we'll jump into the donors list. Now, if you get that wrong, you're gonna get a lot of powerful people who are gonna be angry with me, but that's okay because they're all already angry with me, so that's okay. I'll be fine. I'll be fine. I'll ruffle some more feathers. I shall ruffle some more feathers. All right, so 2:41. We got a couple of minutes to spare. So we'll say a couple of things here about intentional robots, as one will and must, and we'll see how that goes. Moving forward into the future. Intentional robots. I don't remember where we got to, but we'll start reading at random as we do. It says, representation is existence. Existence is being in relation with, and being in relation with is representation. Oh, I found it. I was looking for that as, there it is, that sheet. I knew I'd lost it somewhere, but at least it's not lost. It can stay in my donor box here, so later we can read it out again. I really should make a nice, I wouldn't say PowerPoint, but what the heck? How many things were in this book here? What happens when people, I don't know. List mania. They are not three different ontological entities or three different properties of the same entity. They are three different roles for the same ontological entity. They seem different because, as it would become clearer, they depend on the structure of subjects and therefore on their epistemic attitude. If these three aspects are never separated, we can suppose that they originate from a unique principle that we'll term affine or intentional relation. Such principle is an elementary unit of being of representation and of being in relation with. We propose to term such an object intentional relation affine. The first name derives from the famous attribution of intentional as the mark of mental proposed by Franz Brentano. The other term, affine, is a compound of ontos plus phenomenon plus episteme. As a working hypothesis, the following is proposed. An affine intentional relation is the fundamental entity. It is the elementary unity of existence, representation, and being in relation with, IRH. If that makes any sense at all. But anyway, stated in such a way, the awkward problem of representation seems to vanish. The reason is that we have moved from an object-oriented extensional ontology to a point of view extensional, representational, relational, that is oriented towards a new principle that is. Okay, fine. Similarly, new openings are conceivable for the issue of conscious subjects. If before The constitutive element of reality was an extension doomed to remain forever constrained by its own boundaries. It is now possible to build a complete subject where on-fiends would naturally have the role of representation carriers. These statements have powerful and practical consequences that would be challenged later. If our mental states represent something, our mental states must be that thing. This is the fundamental principle on which we will build our theory of mind. It says to see note 7 in this chapter. The term on-fiend is used here for the first time. It has been coined expressly to identify the proposed concept without any misguiding pre-connotations. It is a countable noun. Its plural is on-fiends. Dun, dun, dun. The domain to which it refers is onfinity. Not to be confused with infinity. Anyway, starting from the on-fiend and the fundamental hypothesis, a series of related concepts need a new definition. Here it is, the basis for two consequences used to explain the problem of representation and the problem of existence of conscious subjects. They must be seen as links between the general principle of the on-fiend and the practical. Every representation must be the thing that is represented. Representation is existence. REH. It must be possible for something to become part of something else. Existence is existence in relation with ERH. Before entering into the rationale of the second hypothesis, the consequences of the first must be analyzed. If everything that is represented to a mind must be that or part of that mind, it follows that the mind is no longer constrained by the restricted boundaries of the skull, but literally that it is enlarged. This intuition will eventually be developed into a larger framework termed the enlarged mind, chapter 6. It is constituted by all those events that are part of her conscious experience without having to resort to the dubious and expensive explicit ontology of non-reductionistic functionalism or certain kinds of psycho-functionalism. Such a view provides a ready-made answer to what the mind is. The mind is the collection of events related to the subject, the problematic process of perception that is the representation of external objects can be easily explained. Instead of having to reproduce reality, it is enough to define the condition of enlargement of the mind. When the mind perceives something, it is the mind that has expanding itself to the new event, or alternatively, the perceived event becomes part of the mind. Unfortunately, this argument rapidly collapses as a theory of sense datum did. Why should an event belong to a particular mind? What is the difference between an event belonging to a mind and one not belonging to it? This brings us to the next fundamental assumption. The elementary unit of being and representation must not be seen as separate, autonomous entity, but in relation with other events, REH. Its being must not be seen as something different from its being in relation with ERH this time. I don't know, is this confusing? This is what happens when a bunch of theorists who love their big words put together a sentence or a paragraph and feel like they're telling a story, but it's not really appealing because maybe just like 1% of the population understands what the heck they're talking about. Anyway, so this is why I strive to create simple linguistic and bite-sized information so that people can really dive deep and understand, no matter if they are like, young children all the way to the elderly and stuff. So, I mean, like senior citizens and everybody can understand the same language. I'd just love to rewrite this book in understandable English. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is ridiculous. And it's not like using all of these big words has made it more concise, right? If using all of these big words had made the concepts and everything that they tried to explain more concise, more understandable, and all that stuff, then I would be like, yeah, okay, throw in a few big words. But they didn't do that, did they? As an example of the latter, it can be proposed the natural dualism of Chalmers' 1996. It is interesting, Sturgeon, 1998, since it provides a complete overview of the related theories. Then they did a funny looking thing here with words that go around in a circle. Isn't that pretty? Love it. It says phenomenology. Then it goes epistemology. Then it goes ontology. Then it goes into being. Then there's subjectivity, objectivity, relation with, being, representation, onfinity, or intentionality. They make you play a game of turn the book. It's not spin the bottle, it's turn the book. Anyway, figure 5-2, if intentionally or onfinity is put at the center of ontology, all other manifestations of being can be derived directly. Box 5.1, intentionality and onfeity. Historically, intentionality is a term heavy loaded with different meanings. A caveat is thus mandatory. In this thesis, the caveat refers purely to what is explicitly defined in 5.2. In particular, it neither refers to any kind of stance, Dennett, 1987, nor to linguistic kinds of intentionality. It is very much like the aboutness about which Searle often talks. Searle, 1985. And I swear, it does say mush. I thought it was much, but it says mush. I wonder if that's what they tell the horses. Mush! Anyway, I don't know why this is even in here, but anyway. Let's get back to it. It says, given the fact that this paper is mainly devoted to explain what we believe an intentional relation is, we must also specify what it is not. It has nothing to do with Daniel Dennett's intentionality, Dennett 1987, which is useful to interpret the behavior of agents. Our intentionality is something that could have some points in common with what John Searle means by intrinsic intentionality. Searle, 1983, Searle, 1992. Nevertheless, Searle's positions seem to be looking at intentionality as an emergent property of biological brains, while we are looking for a much more basic structure of reality. Another example can be found in some of Fodor's recent works, Fodor 1987 and Fodor 1998, even if he does not speak directly of intentionality. Nonetheless, he is looking for an elementary property of the world that can be the basis for representational activity in language. The basic idea is to see intentionality as if it were an ontological domain preceding the subject. Object dichotomy. YouTube, don't ban me for dichotomy. It is not related to what you think it may be. Object dichotomy. Anyway, instead of being property and act, a function or relation that must be insatiated upon fixed and may be autosufficient ontological domains, intentionality is seen as fundamental stuff of reality. In other words, instead of looking for intentionality as something that should be added to the already determined picture of the world, mass, charge, charm, and maybe some other basic forces, the idea is to see if it is possible to start from scratch with intentionality and then to build up the known elements of the world, mass, charge, and similia, but also pain, representation, consciousness, and similia. In this sense, we propose a new word for referring to intentionality as the fundamental domain, onfineity. Yet, we also use the word intentionality since it is the term that most closely matches with what we think onfineity is. Intentionality, as it is normally conceived, is not an emergent new property of reality, but it is the final expression of fundamental structure. A useful metaphor is weight and mass. Weight is a complex physical property that depends on several factors: number of particles, density and intensity of gravitational field. Yet it is the final manifestation of a fundamental aspect of reality, mass. If there were no mass, there would be no weight too. However, it would be pointless to try to find an explanation for weight as an emergent property of complex systems. In this metaphor, weight has the same role as intentionality, whereas mass corresponds to onfineity. 5.3 events. Let's see what events is about here. One of the criteria is, let me see still have a couple of minutes. One of the criteria to be satisfied is the capability of producing the familiar world of everyday experience. The criterion is not fulfilled by any extensional ontology. We acclaimed that the world is composed of onthemes. In this following, we will show how an ontheme produces events and how it turns events are the foundation of objects and subjects. What is an event? Here, the concept of event is somewhat different from the classic, excuse my humanity, definition according to which an event is the instantiation of some property of some particulars at a certain instantaneous time, t. An event is defined as something without which the actual state of universe would have been different. No constraints are posed on what an event can be. For example, an event can be the modification of energetic level of an electron or the declaration of war between two countries. It can be the melting of a glacier which lasts for several millenniums or the blink of an eye. An event can be something physical like a stone falling or subjective like a sharp pain. Not its cause, but the phenomenal pain itself. In short, an event has no constraints, either spatial or temporal. An event can be subjective or objective or simply physical. An event is just something without which reality would have been different. Obviously, if something has no effects on reality, it would not even exist. In this sense, there is a strong relationship between an event and simply a thing, and uns, which is something that simply exists. Being an event is a condition of existence. It is impossible to be in any meaningful sense without being an event too. It is impossible to divide a property of being from the property of being an event, which is something that provokes effects on the rest of the world. Things are thus derived from events. Further, these last considerations take us to natural conclusion that being is being in relation with. In short, we propose that. So one of the biggest problems that I have with this book is it was written a while ago, and so now we have all kinds of things in the real world which kind of contradict a lot of what is being said here. And the reason why I say this is because there's so many ways of being somewhere else and doing something else with our mind. And just because it did not create some kind of effect in the real world doesn't mean it did not exist. So sometimes I have issues with things that are being said, like what is being said in this book right now, because as I said before, so many different times, we now have things such as live events in VR, for instance, where, so long as you are in VR, you can't really trash a city. You don't create any trash. You don't create any damage. If all of the, for instance, if all of the manifestations of protesting happened in VR, for instance, what a different world that would be, right? Even if you were to try to burn things down in a video game, it wouldn't have any real consequence in real life. Nobody's business would be terminated or destroyed. Nobody's car would be taken down, totaled, or whatever it is. So imagine that. Imagine a world where, for instance, one could protest about something. Like one could protest about YouTube is not doing what I'd like it to do, and you would have a space somewhere in VR to talk about that with people of YouTube. So the people who work at YouTube wouldn't have to meet you in real life, because one of the things that made a lot of sense when Eli, the computer guy, said it was this. A lot of the people at the top, right, don't particularly like to get together with the people at the bottom, or some of the, peons that work for them. So one smart way to do that would be to do it on Zoom, or to do it, in this case, in a more interactive way, because sometimes the in-person feel, just the fact of sitting together around a table, being able to pass, even if it's virtual objects, having a discussion in some kind of virtual but more tangibilistic, that's not a word, tangible environments, like, even though you can't eat, let's say, something, but the whole idea of being able to be in environments where you can talk and actually physically, in a way, but within a reality that doesn't actually cause harm. Like imagine if you had some of the YouTube high people, like the CEOs and all the top end people from YouTube, and if you got angry with them, you were there, they wouldn't feel threatened. You could throw like imaginary fruit at them or something. You know what I'm saying? No, I want PayPal. I want easy ways to get paid or whatever. And you could have conversations with these people, and they could make you look the way that they want to see you, so they wouldn't be offended by your appearance, because everybody seems to be offended by my appearance. And this could make it an easier way for the CEOs and the top level people that drive all these, corporate American companies, to get together with the peons that work below them, without having to worry about how they look to them because they despise us or whatever. And it would be a nice place in which you could actually have some kind of dialogue and maybe make the world a better place, since we all know how bad it goes when people protest in real life and throw things and break things and bring baseball bats and Molotov cocktails and all that stuff in the streets. And then third parties that didn't deserve to be damaged got damaged. So anyway, those are my thoughts, guys. So we're going to do more reading from this book. Although, again, as I said, some of the stuff that is in this book isn't just antiquated. It is just no longer valuable. But I guess in a lot of cases, the old stuff can still be useful. I mean, there's a lot of interesting words. You guys could Google all the intricate words that came up today. You probably won't use any of them ever in your jobs, but it's fun for the pleasure of learning, if you will. And here I have my box. I don't have a donor box link, but you can reach through the screen and drop a couple of PayPal coins my way whenever you wish. Again, the blue hairs, if they want to throw in a couple of dollars for the divorce fund, and then on the other side, the red-blooded alpha conservatives, be your own man fund right here at this link. The haters can throw a couple of dollars in for the hate binge fund. The libertarian and everything in between can throw a couple of dollars in the PayPal or the CG Trader or the Experts Column fund, if you will. I can't remember. I need to go check and see if I can still log into that Experts Column. I've got so many things. I think the FENMA, the FENMA thing that I was talking about in one of my other live streams may be over there too. But anyway, with that, guys, I guess I'll see you in the next live stream. This is about an hour of me jabbering away. Jabba, jabba, jabba. But yeah, I guess I'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Wish you all the best, as I always do. Take care.